Hello everybody and welcome back to our second series of the day. I'm Durka here in the Join Dota Studios. We've got another newbie game. This time they'll be up against IG. Let's see if they can take any games off them. They did manage to draw up with LGD, which is a pretty good performance from them. The second game, very back and forth, but in the end, newbie taking it. No buybacks for LGD available. Let's head over to the draft of the second series and see what we're dealing with. And also welcome in Scant, my co-caster, as I start stuttering and stammering.
Yeah, and the first game Newbee did pretty well as well against LGD up to a point, but see what we're dealing with? We're dealing with IG Broodmother. That's what we're dealing with.
Here we go. Luo on the Broodmother, more likely than not. We're seeing a lot of this in Chinese games, and they're picking out Dagons. Go for Dagon 5 on Broodmother, start zapping people left and right, just taking that one hero out, because you're already that threat on the offlane. You're annoying for supports to deal with. You force the opponents to really put one hero there for a good 20-25 minutes just dealing with you, unless you go for the roaming gang squad and kill Brood over and over again. But then you also become a threat 30 minutes in when you're going around killing everyone.
I think the most annoying thing about Broodmother is that even if you pick a hero, which they surely will now, pick an axe or something like that, even if you pick a hero that counters Broodmother, that can lane against it and stop it pushing and stuff, that hero has to be on Broodmother duty, basically all game, from the start of the game to the end of the game. So I feel like heroes that counter Broodmother don't really counter Broodmother. All they do is they sort of like they take
Broodmother.
care of, they mitigate Broodmother.
Yeah.
And not just that they do, they have to. You know, you pick a Broodmother, you force the other teams to constantly think about how they're managing your Broodmother, and that's actually a way that Newbee might get exploited this game, because we've seen that Newbee have been doing better and better when they're playing together and setting up in a way that, this is what our team does. We go together, we do this thing. They have to split themselves up to deal with the Broodmother this game. Might be a bit harder for them, and I've just noticed something. Newbee coming into day clearly had this plan in mind, which is they're going to ban the Storm Spirit. They banned it first in both the previous games against LGD, and they've done the same here. Maybe and Ferrari both really liking the Storm Spirit right now, and Newbee are saying, well, no, you're not going to get that. And okay, Faith says, if you're not going to pick Axe now, we'll take it.
We'll take the Axe ourselves. So what's left? Tidehunter? Because Bristle was banned out in the second phase by IG. Axe now picked up. Newbee kind of have to go for something like a Tide.
And this is tough, right? Because Axe is Faith's drafted into a position where you don't want to just let Shadow Fiend get free reign in early game. You have to react to Broodmother. But if Axe is a good early game, that's also a problem. So all the lanes just going to imply pressure right from the start in IG's favor, I would say. And the Darkseid does get picked up, so I suppose that's their response to the Broodmother.
Oh, wow. Do they pick up a hero that combos up with Darkseid as well? Because obviously, you've got Vacuum into Sonic Wave and Ice Blast, but that requires so much timing and precision. I'm not sure if it's really that possible. You're not going to be able to go into a team fight and say, okay, our #1 goal and objective here is to pull off that combo, Vacuum, Sonic Wave, Ice Blast, because it's not really going to hit. If you have something like, maybe a Magnus, but it doesn't fit. With Darkseid dealing with the Broodmother, maybe you go aggro try with the Rubik and AA. You have to get some kind of intel from the opponent team just to see where the Broodmother's going, of course. You don't know if IG will switch it up and put Brood safe lane, but overall, Newbee, they can't go for a Juggernaut, can't go for a Troll. Lifesteal now banned out by IG. What are their options for a one-roll carry? Limited.
I mean, yeah, very, very limited. They did well with the Void last game, but IG cleared to ban that out early on. Taking out the Lifestealer as well, which we've seen make quite a comeback recently. I'm not so sure. I'm not sure what Newbee want to... I mean, maybe Newbee go for, I want to say Spectre. Goes well with the combo they have there, but
it's gonna get demolished by Axe and Shadow Fiend. This is the problem I'm having. I'm thinking of maybe Anti-Mage or Spectre, but they don't do too well against Broodmother and Axe. You can think about Medusa, but that was banned out by Newbee themselves. Overall, IG have come out on top so far in the draft. You can think about Slark maybe, and you go out. You kind of go all in on that picking people off with Queen of Pain and AA. But I feel like an Agi carry here is something they need. Going for a strength carry, sure, you'll be tanky and difficult to deal with, but you need that raw damage output.
I'm wondering if Faith is considering picking his Phoenix here. thing is, normally when he does it, he wants to help the off lane at the start. Yeah, and you don't go off and help a breed mother at the start. It's not the thing you do. So
Do you consider
opting
Naga? Like,
Naga,
Naga isn't a rabbit hero.
I gotta say, I haven't seen Naga succeed in China since the start of this month. I'm not sure if you have. I know LGD picked it a lot and kept losing with it, and looks like Slaughter's a rabbit hero. Looks like that's their plan this game, and Slaughter can combine with Vacuum with that stomp.
Yeah, true. So they're gonna go with the -R from Slaughter, and he does give them that physical damage, which I was really looking for. So I like that overall. Chase people down, get the damage onto Zeus and Vengeful Spirit. Try and bring down SF, but this is Ferrari Shadow Fiend. He's gonna have a few tricks up his sleeve.
I think Faith is going to do the jungle abusing move with Zeus this game. You know, Zeus can stack multiple camps at once. And I think if he does that, we're going to see Burning's Axe with like some kind of ridiculous farm in the early game.
Let's find out what he does. So, what, Radiant side you can stack up both all three camps, the pull camp, medium, and large?
Yeah, usually you need a Quelling Blade to do it. You have to eat a bunch of trees, and then it just requires using the static field, standing in the right spots, using a lightning bolt on the ground, and all three camps get stacked, yeah.
Okay.
So you can't do that on the dire side. He might just, I mean, what you can also do very easily with this is just stack two camps, right? That's not hard at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just using the range on your arc lightning and hitting the other camp. But I'd be surprised if that's not his job. I mean, that's what support Zeus usually does anyway. He harasses the lane at the start. After that, he makes a bunch of stacks and pulls. And who better to make stacks for than Axe? Well, there's also a Shadow Fiend, so lots of options for stacking here on the side of IG. I think it might be Chuan's job to make 1 or 2 rotations, where Faith will be the guy setting up for those stacks.
Luo a little bit indecisive about what items he needs or wants up on this top lane. I think it's mainly to do with that Chilling Touch. You know, he's going to be expecting the safe lane tri lane here from Newbee. Chilling Touch with Slaughter and Rubik. Oh, they're going to start things off on Burning. The Crush goes down. They're going to find the kill here straight away onto the Axe. Chilling Touch damage with a Shadow Strike. Way too much for the Axe to deal with.
And a very aggressive move coming out of Newbee early on. And for the 3rd time in a row today, we see them taking the lead at the start of the game.
That gives them a nice little boost early on in the laning stage. Wait, was that an Observer Ward?
I think it was.
Yeah, that was a Radiant Observer Ward that they placed here. So, the Magic Bush Sentry, taking out Observer Ward and blocking both camps. So, Chuan has had to place his secondary Observer over near the rune spot. And now they don't have anything at top, so if it is a defensive tri-lane, Ferrari is going to have no idea whatsoever when the supports are moving in.
It looks like an aggressive tri-lane for Newbee.
Again? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong lane. Rubik, A, and Slaughter. And Zeus doesn't interact that well with that lane. At level 1 he's got some damage output, but sort of between level, I don't know, 4 and 6, Zeus is doing a lot less in that lane than most of the other heroes, I feel.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense because they wanted the Darkseer up against the Broodmother. So they kind of have to go the aggro tri-lane, of course.
Yeah, and Vengeful Spirit with a short range, Zeus with a short range. Not really great supports to match up in a 3v3 lane. And look what Burning's actually doing.
Yeah.
He's just gone straight to the jungle, and he's gonna say, Faith, Chuan, you guys make a plan for bots. Try get some value.
I'll give you guys have got 5 minutes. I'm going to be farming jungle for 5 minutes. You guys, cook something up. Try and find something to do down there because Sansheng as well as Banana are going to be making their lives a living hell. They can't stack, they can't pull, they can't get experience. These two supports, do you just sack the lane? It's not as though Faith and Chuan can go roaming together.
There's something really interesting going on in the top lane. This like big pool camp got stacked and pulled, and now the Brood and the Darkseer have been constantly fighting over who last hits those creeps. Like running and nuking them, iron shelling them.
Looks like June is going to get the better trade of this. He'll get the big creeps. He'll go in there and take the Hellbears, take the Wild Wing. Doesn't want to tank up too much damage.
And that off lane, safe lane Zeus, Faith. He actually bought 3 TP scrolls right before he died. Didn't get to his boots. But yeah, he's going to be playing it as an off lane at this point in time. Hoping he can just get levels without dying, but by the looks of things that's very hard. The not dying part anyway. But Chuan will help him out by doing this pull through, and the creeps will push the tower. Chuan's gonna have to worry about himself now.
He finds Banana, who walks up the high ground, but rune-wise, there's very little IG can do to control any of the runes. Their supports are limited to this bot lane. They can't run out. They've got some vision of Sancheng and Banana moving across, but it's IG are literally stuck between that proverbial rock and hard place.
Yeah, it's you know, to make matters worse, the access to jungle early on, so the Shadow Fiend can't jungle early on. They're really cramped out, and Darkseer is destroying Broodmother, completely destroying him. Look at Lewis got 3 creeps.
That's a lot worse than I expected. I kind of saw this lane going okay for Broodmother early on, and then once Darkseer hits, level 3, that's when he starts getting crushed. But I guess you cannot make a Spiderling army. You can't do anything like that. Maybe you just go for the incapacitating bite build. Try and right-click down June, but even then, he puts a he puts an Iron Shell on himself and starts building up damage that way. And with the way the jungle's going, it's not just the burning he has to jungle, it's that he has to jungle these 2 camps. He can't go to the eastern side of the jungle because it's completely closed out.
And Newbee just outthinking IG at the start here, especially with that first blood. But I think even without the first blood, I don't think Axe and Venge and Zeus contest this lane. So the lane matchups are just purely favorable for Newbee. If anything, the mid one is even. That's all the best lane for IG. But you never want to be in a game where the best lane you have is Shadow Fiend or Squab.
No, definitely not. Queen of Pain 14 for 10, while the SF is 11 for 5. So Ferrari, I think is the fear factor here. The fact that he doesn't know where Banana is. Actually, he'll know where he is now as Moo jumps on him. Banana with a lift. They'll bring down Ferrari in short measure with a couple more right clicks. He buys a branch. You know things are going badly when the thing you buy before you die is an Ironwood branch.
You know, I was just thinking he's gonna go scout out the smoke gank, but you're against the Queen of Pain with that long range blink, so scouting out the smoke gank is the same as getting yourself killed. You might as well, not scout it out and die to it if you're gonna run off your tower and into that position. Top lane,
can they do it? No, they can't! The Battle Hunger will slow him down. Magic Missile gives enough time for Burning to get a little closer, but June is on the retreat. They'll cut this creep wave. Yeah. Burning was deciding, do I go jungle camp? Do I cut creep wave? I'll cut the creep wave. We'll get the momentum going back in our favor up here. And now they've got an aggressive tri lane of Broodmother, Axe, and Venge as Faith dies again on the bot lane.
This game is going horrendously for IG to start with. I mean, we saw Newbee start well in the previous 2 games against LGD, but not this well. This is a new level of bad, actually. It's difficult to see like the immediate plan for IG to recover, because Axe needs his early farm and he's not getting it, and Brood needs his early farm and he's not really getting it either. Zeus needs some levels.
Oh, Burning! One more right click. Yep, Moo finds another kill.
Yeah, that Obs Ward scouting out the Burning tried to go farm enemy jungle, and again the person doing best
mid lane,
IG
Ferrari. He's on the wrong side of the river. He knew Moo was in the jungle just now. He's gonna get taken. This is devastating for IG.
I mean, is the TI4 champion Newbee back all of a sudden? No, I don't want to say that. I mean, we agree they've been improving a lot every day for the last few days. They've clearly been studying their opponents with a Storm Spirit ban all the time. Well, I guess it's not that hard to realize, but they've clearly been practicing. Their execution has got a bit better. But this game, IG have to take some of the credit, right? IG have to take some of the credit for this early game, because if you just look at the draft, I think Faith's got it horribly wrong. I think, there wasn't really a way that the lanes could match up well for IG, was there? Unless they somehow dodged and the Brood was 1v3 and they were 3v1.
But then Newbee just switched things up.
Yeah, and IG didn't even make an attempt to switch themselves. Maybe they thought the Axe would do fine in the jungle and Faith would just be able to like get XP in that safe lane as Zeus, but that's where you give Newbee credit. They've done, and they're going on him again. Slaughter's gonna solo kill him, I think.
Oh, with the amplified damage, he doesn't need too much else to finish off Faith. But IG, I just want to point out that the games that I've seen of them in D2CL, they've gone behind early on, and they have been like the kings of comeback. but I don't think I've seen them go this far behind. Banana now telekinesis onto Burning.
Also, the question I have is, you know, how do they come back? What's the narrative? Okay, Chuan's about to die, but imagine Faith got to write a story now about how the rest of the game goes, and it involves them winning. Like, how does that story go?
It goes something along the lines of Newbee doesn't steal our big old stack of jungle creeps. And then we farm them, and then we get ourselves items on the Shadow Fiend and the Axe. But SF now with Magic Stick Bottle, he's buying boots almost 8 minutes into the game.
Well, lucky him, because Zeus doesn't have boots, and Brood doesn't need boots, but that's Zeus. I mean, I think it's a big game changer. If Zeus could have just played it like an offlane in the safe lane and somehow not died and got XP, IG are in a much better position because they've got the extra jungle axe, they've got the extra levels in their Zeus, but Newbee were just like, no, this is a strong aggressive tri lane, we'll dive you over and over and kill you over and over. And of course Faith, because he wasn't actually meant to be offlaning, he was meant to be a support, didn't have boots to start with. If he has boots at the start of the game, maybe he isn't dying all the time there at the start, but he didn't have boots at the start of the game. He doesn't have boots now. It's 8 minutes and he still doesn't have boots, and he was like soloing that lane. Just shows you how hard the lane was for him.
Ferrari up on that top rune spot had to TP out. He goes to contest rune, doesn't get it, and then wastes time TPing to base to try and get out of the Queen of Pain's grasp. Everything that could go wrong will go wrong right now for IG, as a Vanguard is finished up by Rabbit, going for that, as well as Treads before his blink. And I kind of like this. I feel that Slardar is another one of those heroes that needs something before the initiation tool.
Especially if you're dominating this match.
Yeah. Stun down onto Rabbit. They will get a kill here. Burning gets their first kill on the board with a culling blade onto Slardar. Rabbit a little bit too far forward.
Yeah, let's see how much of a gold change is that, the first kill that they got.
About
plus
1,000.
850 and plus 900 XP. It's not too bad for one kill.
No, the swing is about 1,000. So that 5.5k lead that Newbee had drops to about 4.5. But who did that gold go to? I didn't even freaking check. Burning obviously got the final kill. Chuan lifted up and just slowly but surely taken out. But yeah, so Burning got a bunch of gold from that. Oh man, Faith, can you teach? No, you cannot. A double kill from Moo.
Yeah, so and Lewis picked up that Midas. So it tells you this is basically the plan for IG to win this game is somehow not lose for the next 20 to 30 minutes. It's not like, I don't think Newbee's lineup is that scary as the game scales on. I think IG's lineup is probably a bit stronger there, even though they wanted to snowball probably with their axe and their broodmother. They've got that Shadow Fiend. But the difficult question of course is how do they not lose this game in the next 20 to 30 minutes? How do, like, what control do they have over their own fate? Because to me it feels like it's all up to Newbee at this point. Newbee have to, royally screw up a few times. Or just keep getting lots and lots of kills and not allow IG back into the game.
Well, they have Midas on the Broodmother now, so he can start going into the jungle. He's already been farming up a lot of these camps already. The Darkseer has been limited with where he can go and what he can do. So it really has been Newbee and IG playing 4 versus 4. At this stage in the game, Newbee's 4 has been stronger. But later on, you look at Axe and Shadow Fiend, once they get their items, once they get their levels, they do start to... bring that dominance to team fights. Yeah, Ferrari. He's gonna get caught in this. June does not really have too much to throw out. Here's Chuan, launches a magic missile into the Darkseer. Vacuum won't land, but in comes Moo. Brings down the Shadow Fiend with a Sonic Wave and Scream of Pain.
I mean, it just feels like Newbee can just get kills whenever they want. Anytime they decide to kill a hero, they can just kill that hero. And that's not where you want to be if you're IG.
Oh, Luo. If they had, do they have any sentries or dust or anything? No. The Broodmother in a precarious situation here. Doesn't have too much mana. Can't really save this tower. Actually, the best thing is to just go and try and cut the creep wave back here somewhere.
I don't know. Is there going to be some attempts at a defense here? Actually, Zeus is running up. He's actually got level 6 now, Zeus.
And brown boots. And the soul ring recipe! Zeus has items.
But I guess Thunder God's Wrath helps them a bit to punish Newbee if they misstep. But again, that's where the emphasis has to be. Okay, Burning's gonna have a blink. Burning's gonna have a blink very, very soon. And between Axe getting a big blink call and maybe setting up for 2 Shadow Razors and a Thunder God's Wrath, maybe that's how a good fight looks for IG.
Who does he blink call though? Slaughter and
Everyone.
Darkseer.
It's gotta be everyone, right?
You have to blink call everyone, Burning. Net worth wise, let's have a look at that. 6.5k up on the Queen of Pain, then you got 5.5 on the Darkseer and Slaughter, respectively. Slaughter nearly has his own blink. So we're looking at what, a 5-man blink call. Requiem, not even level 2 yet.
It's gonna be the Razors, yeah. Just the blink call, the Razors, and the Zeus ulti. That'll probably be a team wipe if that's a 5-man blink call and the SF's in range to get 2 Razors, but it's not likely to happen. And IG suspect the rush is going on, but they're gonna be too late. And things just get from bad to worse with that Aegis on Slaughter. He's already nearly impossible to kill with the Vanguard. Now he's got the Aegis, and soon he'll have probably that Blink Dagger, and then the fact that he's impossible to kill is so much more relevant because he just kills you if you don't kill him.
June clearing out Spiderlings with that Vacuum and Ion Shell. But Luo is doing an excellent job here, just microing separate packs of Spiderlings to take down jungle camps while controlling the lane himself. His gold is increasing. His net worth now 5.5. He's nearly caught up with the Slaughter. So even with that dominating run that the Darkseer had up on his top lane, he has a rough time actually keeping up.
Yeah, I just wonder whether it's a mistake for Faith to pick that Broodmother 3rd in this draft. Yesterday we saw was it yesterday or the day before, we saw FY picking a Broodmother 4th, and I thought that was really clever at that stage. But 3rd is a bit early, and even though I said that the Broodmother is gonna, you know, you pick a hero to counter, it's gonna have to stay with the Brood the whole game. What it meant in this game is that Newbee could design their draft around the fact that they'd 1v1 the Brood and plan an aggressive tri-lane.
Yeah, you put that Slaughter with the AA, you've got plenty of damage. Burning with his Blink. Gonna try and make the debut worth something here. June is the target they want to go on. He's the only one that's really showing on the map. The only one that they could really go and find. Dagon level 1 now for Luo. Gonna be brought up to the top lane. Do they wait for that? Because June is hiding in the trees.
Yeah, they just want June to show his face again. And June's like, guys, my mech's on the way. Then I have a mech and a Vanguard.
And then he TP's mid to push tier 1 mid.
Can you even kill me? I mean, I think it's really hard for them to kill him now. Even if they catch him. Okay, the Shadow Fiends, yes, they've got the damage to kill him if they catch him. He's making no intention of moving off his tower, and he's like, well, my team's killing your mid tower, you're not showing on the map. Well, I think that's a pretty good sign that something's going on here.
Yeah, they see him, Spiderlings are going to scout it out, but June makes a run for it. Burning not in position to try and get the Blink call.
This is the position that IG's gotten into where the only way to get positive value is to try and set up these sorts of scenarios, and it's so predictable, it's so easy for Newbee to read, and it's like a feedback loop that's going to make the game worse and worse and worse, because the best things IG can do are things that Newbee can predict them doing, and Newbee can exploit them for that.
Yeah. I'm just thinking back to literally 2 days ago, when we were watching Newbee, and they would fall behind, and they would do this very similar thing, where they would put 5 people in a lane. They would have 1 person standing on the lane farming, and literally 4 people behind them. And it would be so predictable and so easy to read that no one would fall for the bait. And like you said, you just exploit it. You go to the side lanes, you farm up there, top. Luo caught out now with the amplified damage. They'll bring him down as bot lane Chuan is brought down by the Queen of Pain. Another couple of kills for Newbee as the score is 1-13.
I was watching that bot lane, Mew got an inverse rune and he was kind of stalking the axe and the Venge for a while. I think he was trying to decide if he could maybe kill the axe, and eventually he was just like, nah, I'll kill the Venge, that's the safe bet.
Rabbit must feel invincible right now. Aegis Immortal, Vanguard, Blink. Does he have anything else? No? 600 gold. 700 now ready to spend, while top lane is being pushed in. June with his Darkseer. His next item, do you finish Crimson Guard on either of these heroes? The Vanguard is obviously a really great early game item, especially against Broodmother. You're not going to get focused down by Spiderlings, but is Crimson Guard worth it?
I sort of feel like a pipe would do more for them. If the idea is to go high ground. At the moment, the physical damage is sort of non-existent. It's just the axis spins. There's a whole lot of damage coming out of magic. When you try and go high ground, it's magic damage. It's Zeus. It's Shadow Fiend. Maybe even a little bit of spam from the Broodmother.
Yeah. But then do you put the pipe on Dux here? Mech Vanguard and pipe. Oh, the blink in. Slaughter tries to find the crush. Ferrari though not having any of it. Blinks himself back.
Oh, look at Banana. He's stolen those webs and he's just like making his own lair. It's just so obnoxious to be a Rubik that's walking around like taking control of territory as if you're a Broodmother.
He's so quick as well. He's so freaking fast with a he's actually got max movement speed. With Tranquils and Webs, he has max move speed.
Yeah, it's no wonder you see Broodmother's not. I mean, Broodmother gets nearly max movement speed with just Webs.
He's having so much fun. The blink in, Burning finds Rabbit. I'll try and bring him down, and will do. Rabbit, Aegis Immortal, expiring.
It expired. That's IG had the timing.
Exactly the right moment. Requiem, no, Ferrari cancels channeling that as Newbee backs themselves up.
I mean, they wrote down the rush time, they knew it was exactly 5 minutes, and absolutely perfect timing on the initiation.
Sunshine now ripped apart, the Dagon and Spawn Spiderlings will take him out, but Moo finds the counter kill. So Axe and Brood down, but Newbee the ones that don't want to trade evenly like this, and they're going pipe on the Ducks here.
Yeah. This Queen of Pain, with that godlike streak, she's going to give a lot of gold if she does die. A lot of gold. I mean, never mind just the godlike streak, there's the net worth lead of the team, there's the gold disparity, the comeback mechanic. So, in a weird way, even though Newbee are just massively ahead and looking like they're going to close out the game soon, there's some kind of pressure on Mew now to not die, and he buys the Shadow Blade. This is just awesome. Right, we've been talking about this all week, and I don't think we've seen the sort of historically top Chinese teams do it yet. I haven't seen LGD, IG, or Vici Gaming do it, and this is the first time I've seen Newbee do it. Even though Mew plays quite a lot of co-op, I don't think I've seen him do it yet. No, but I think this build is awesome. It's like really good.
What? Shiki, ZYF, and who else do it? We've seen C-Deck and eHome do it definitely. But
yes, and Vici Gang Potential did it as well. Triple S did it.
Okay. So yeah, it has been like the tier 2 teams of China bringing this out, but Moo, let's see what he can do with it. Finding kills on here is like Axe. You know that IG are going to be farming the jungle. When they fall behind, they definitely are quite predictable in the fact that they go into the jungle and they send 3 heroes there and they just try and farm as efficiently as they can. They often don't stack up too often, but when they do, they're farming jungle.
The economic advantage right now that Newbee have means that they can't just see Shadowblade, and IG can't just like buy lots of sentry wards and be safe against that. In fact, twice in this game I've seen Mew get an invis rune and that leads to a free kill, and well, Shadowblade is going to keep doing the same thing. The more IG are split, the Queen of Pain is just going to walk over to someone, kill them, and even if they're being covered, blink away. Unless she gets called by Axe, there's nothing ready to stop her.
IG trying to split the map a little bit here, pushing mid and top. Tier 1 is glyphed up just from the creep wave as Newbee are pushing into tier 2 at bot. We'll find out when Roshan respawns in a couple seconds time. The little pop-up should tell us as Luo on defense duty. This is a little bit rough. Do they have a gem? There's no actual reveal before the amplified damage is thrown out. And Roshan with 2.5 minutes respawn is not too bad. IG have already taken tier 1 at top, and they're just going for this 4-man bull rush.
I mean, as you said earlier, a trade for IG at this point is good. They can't hope for much better. And Ferrari's actually going to have a BKB any second now.
Will we see the Fable score? Will we see 3-2-2?
3-2-2-2 or 3-2?
3-2-2.
3-2.
No, 3-2-2. Stop trolling me. If Newbee gets 7 more kills, will we see that with nothing in return?
I think it's definitely possible.
I don't think it's likely.
I want to say that because SF is BKB, the next fight, IG will probably get like a kill, even if they lose the fight. It's difficult to see them getting, you know, team wiped in a fight after that pickup. I mean, well, team wiped as in 5 for 0. They could get team wiped. They could definitely go sort of 5 for 2 or 5 for 1.
It's kind of sad that when Rubik steals webs and then the spell expires, he doesn't get to keep them. Like with Techie's mines and things like that, you know, you can throw them down and they stay around. Why can't he keep the webs? He made himself a nice little home. And with the invisible spot, Ferrari telekinesis to send him back. The BKB has to be popped instantly here by Ferrari. He turns around, right-clicks Banana. A couple of raises are all he needs now to finish off the Rubik, but he's not quite going to get them.
Well, his BKB's about to run out, and we might see Newbee chasing further now.
Low with a dig on. Man, that's risky. Gets blinked on. The sentry ward is radiant, so they not going to have any reveal down, but he's outside of his webs.
Not happening for them there. Though I want to say that the one thing that works against Newbee's draft right now is if the game goes really long, Slaughter's not a hero that farms very well. Going into the later game after the lane stage, there isn't really a mechanism for Slaughter to farm quickly. And I think that's why you see that the Shadow Fiends actually managed to overtake him and the Broodmother's pretty close to him on net worth. In fact, a lot of Slaughters, I think especially in the West, go back for that Midas these days. I saw Loader last night buying the Blink and then going back for the Midas.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reason, because the hero struggles to keep up in terms of farm if you don't have an item specifically for that. And maybe, like in a very small way, that's an entry point for IG. To signal to IG that, you know, they just keep farming, stay in the game long enough, and they might be able to bridge that gap. But here's Mew in his Shadow Blade looking for a kill, and he knows that there's a BKB now on Ferrari. If he could spot out Burning, maybe he could go for him, but no, he's just gonna back off.
Where's the impact from Burning be in this game? You know, there's Blink Axe. He made that call at mid-tier 2. Outside of that, though, he hasn't had a chance to shine at all.
Well, his game started so horrendously. The fact that he's 2 for 3 is impressive, I think. After dying first blood and then dying moving to the enemy jungle, and just like really not finding anything to do. He still got his blink up and he still made a couple of kills for his team. So I have some sympathy for him in this game. But it's not clear what he can do from this point. There's another rush, and Darkseer's finished his pipe. This will be the high ground push. This will surely be the high ground push.
6 more kills. 6 more kills and we've got it. But I'm not too sure. IG, you know, faith on this support Zeus. He's got Soul Rings, Soul Ring and Tranquil Boots. He's not looking too rich. Vengeful Spirit running around with Urn and Magic Stick. The two supports are very limited in terms of net worth, while over in the Dire, you know, you've got Rubik running around with a 4-staff AA, building into that Aghanims. It's not all about the cause. The Axe is the one that I really do worry about, though. 6.5k net worth, he just does not match up with anyone. The closest hero he matches up with is the freaking Rubik.
He's at least still capable of executing the ultimate game plan for IG. Remember the Blink Call 5 and SF Blinks and Requiem's 5. That's, you know, that's probably still gonna work.
Thunder God's Wrath gonna scout out Newbee, but low, they can't see him. The Spider hiding in the webs. Rabbit, aggressive blink forward there, trying to catch out Chuan, but not gonna get it.
And Rabbit's lost a lot of HP. He's got that Aegis, but he doesn't really have a good way to get his HP back, and I think Mew just whiffed his ulti.
Lots of spells getting thrown out there, but not too many of them hitting. And now Ferrari, up on his top lane, he's going to be feeling pretty safe.
Or he and Burning going to try and kill June. Do you think they can with just the 2 of them? Nah, June's going to try and kill them, by the looks of things.
And Burning gets the call down, he's going to try and TP out. But I don't know, the vacuum's there. How'd you get out of this?
That's not where you wanted to blink
Burning,
to.
no, this is not where you're going. You cannot escape. He has to try and bait out the vacuum or something. It's not happening. Not happening at all. Burning gets taken out. And this might be the high ground push now that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, I think Burning had to try and blink into, like, confuse them by blinking into trees and them not seeing where he blinked, or maybe call the Darkseer right before, and then blink and start TPing. 17 to 3, Durka.
5 more kills. 5 more kills. The trouble is, though, if you Berserker's Call and then blink, the Darkseer is going to be chasing you. So you have that idea of where the axe blinked to.
So maybe, does he have time to just call and immediately TP?
No.
That's enough time to channel? No.
Well, maybe. Faith gets taken out, but I don't think so. With the other heroes coming in, I mean, Berserker's call lasts, what, 2.5 seconds?
3.2, I think.
3.2 seconds. Maybe you can. But I don't know, the other two heroes were closing in pretty quickly.
And 4 more kills.
Oh, come on. Come on, we've got to have it. Racks are falling, the tier 3 is already dead. As Newbee have broken high ground, broken IG, and maybe they can take this series 2-0. You never know. They've been very dominant in this game. IG with the defense, not going to try and push too far out. They'll let their racks fall and Newbee back themselves up.
You know what? Yesterday we said Newbee are looking better, their mechanics are looking better, they're executing well. But their strategy and drafting was a bit off, and today I think their strategy and drafting is looking pretty good. Their draft helped a lot last game. They got into a position against LGD where Space's Void just had to Chrono Spear Shadow Fiend and they'd probably win the fights. And this game also, the draft just from the start.
Oh, they found Ferrari, gets swapped back though. Rabbit now stunned up, Banana goes down as Burning blinks in, doesn't really get too much done. Rubik pies back, but he's got a long old run back down to this mid lane. TP's to the mid tier 1. Moo. They're going to go for Burning here. The Rabbit gets the crush down. Aegis Immortal still up on him. Ferrari with the Requiem. The double BKB. They can't do anything against the double BKB of Newbee as Burning blinks with a 2-man call. This might just be it for IG right now. Axe is dead. Ferrari dropping low. Banana telekinesis onto the low ground, but Ferrari, the fast-fingered pianist, manages to blink out somehow. Still die to the earth.
But the bad news is it's 5-2-2.
Damn it! GG is called. 6-2-2 as Luo finds another kill. So no 3-2-2, guys. Well, did it happen at one point and then clipped over?
No.
No, it never happened.
It was 4-21, I think. So, yeah, Newbee just getting better and better. It reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z, you know, like a weakened, someone that was once a mighty foe weakened and then slowly regenerating their power. And it seems like that's what Newbee are doing. Fighting their way back to the status as a top team in China.
Let's find out in game number 2 whether they can keep it going or whether IG will come back and take the second game. I've been Durko, joining me Scant. Stay tuned guys for game number 2 coming up soon.